Welcome to Toffee Blue View, your source for all things Everton. I'm Gerry. You can tell by my voice, still sick. Here's David and Max. In a little bit, you'll be able to tell that David is still sick as well, and Max, as usual, is the vision of health. He's so healthy and youthful. Really awful sporting weekend for me. You know, all my American teams that I support lost, so that's a thing. And add that to the fact that we're out of the FA Cup now. Just a sucky weekend, you know. Who wants to start on the Derby reaction? As far as let's stick to the football first, and then let's get into all that other stuff.
Big Max can start us off.
All right, you can just die quietly. I was a lot more frustrated than I felt a lot of other Evertonians were after that game. I just think getting knocked out the cup and getting beat by Liverpool kind of just hit me all at once. And the performance wasn't too bad, but I was just blinded just by rage coming out the ground. To have two derbies in such close proximity and not even, win one, it's a disappointment. And the FA Cup, I saw it as the beacon of hope to kind of save our season. And yet again, we fell at the first hurdle. Granted, the performance was better, but we just need to improve dramatically in terms of having, because it feels like a while since we've had a substantial season, really, where you can look back on it and go, right, okay, something actually happened this season that is memorable and that you can draw positives from. But we've literally fell at the first hurdle in Europe, in the League Cup, and now in the FA Cup. So, I know Toffee came in one of the most bizarre announcements I think I've known Everton to do. Went down into the concourse at half time and it was up on Sky Sports News. But it was very deflating for me.
I actually took this defeat quite well, surprisingly. I think numerous factors played a part. Firstly, I thought the team had a good go for the change and I was almost proud of the performance. Secondly, I've walked down this road so many times against Liverpool that it just didn't come as a surprise to me, the circumstances in which it come. And even when we were 1-1, I wouldn't have been shocked at any point if they got the winner. So for Van Dijk to get it from a corner, from a mistake from Pickford, who's maybe been our best signing, is just the height of irony. So nothing really blew me away about the defeat in the end. And yeah, I took it quite well because... naturally, I was disappointed, of course I was, but it just felt like, I don't know, it just felt inevitable. They just had an air of inevitability when you play against Liverpool, and Friday night just had that. So I was disappointed to go the cup to Liverpool, but I don't know, I feel like some things off the pitch kind of softened the blow. Them losing Coutinho the very next day, I think, took the wind out of their sails. And then we had, obviously, us losing Barkley, which took a lot of our attention as well. So I don't know. I think another thing that I like the look of is, once again, we got a result last month. We were very close to getting a result on Friday. I don't believe this same set of players has the same fear factor that others have. And now, knowing that we've got another Goodison derby ahead, there's a little bit of optimism that we might get some revenge. We're normally the first game, and then we have to go to Anfield, where our record's so poor. But now we have a Goodison derby on the horizon before the season's out. I don't know. I just took it a lot better than I have done in the past. Put it that way. Can't quite put my finger on why. I think it's just numerous things.
I'm conflicted. Pretty angry, pissed off at the end, but at the same time. Yeah, because you don't like getting bumped out of your... I mean, let's be honest. It's pretty much the final competition of the season, except for the league. And we're not going to win the league. So basically what we're focusing on the league now is going to be the possibility for any kind of European play. And the only way we're going to do that is if we can somehow climb to 7th. Right? So I'm a little disappointed by that. Okay, really disappointed by that. But at the same time, that was maybe the best I've seen us perform at Anfield in a really long time. But so the performance was good. We could have won that. We literally could have won that one. I didn't think the performance was that bad. However, I'm also stuck between there's that winner's mindset that thinks if you lose, it doesn't matter. You know, that keeps creeping into my brain. So I'm conflicted. You know, I stand by the fact that we played well. We were aggressive, we attacked them. Our goal was awesome. Their goal was a soft penalty and a mistake. So essentially, 2 mistakes, right? They had chances, though. I'm not going to deceive myself into thinking they didn't have opportunities to score. They did. I mean, they're a good team. And they didn't field all of their strongest players, but they still are good without them. So, yeah, I was proud, but I'm not shouting it off the rooftops when we lost. You know? I hope this is a sign of things to come, though. I'm curious, though, as to what we're going to do. Sigurdsson looked good in that central role, didn't he?
Yeah, really good. I can't help but draw similarities to Arteta because I just think he's the first player that we've had in a long time that had just got that kind of that playmaking ability and can just grab a goal out of nowhere from, you know, a shot from outside the box. Which, you know, with the exception of, I'd say, Barkley, who's now gone. We haven't really got a player in the squad, you know, that pulls the trigger from long range. So.
Yep.
That is a positive to see him performing well in that central role. Hopefully with Toffee coming in as well, that might you know produce some more goals.
Yeah, I think it could get misunderstood. My viewpoint really of how the game went. I don't want people thinking I was content going out to the cup because I was basically.
I didn't take it that way, David. I didn't at all. If it sounded like I was interpreting it that way, no.
Oh no, it's just. There's 2 ways you could look at this, and the first option is the option I've done so many times in derbies against Liverpool, and it gets you nowhere. First option could be saying, how typical is it that they got another penalty that was just a shocking decision? They've scored that, and then one of our best players has made a mistake, you know, with just a few minutes left on the clock, and they went and won 2-1. You know, they just seem to get all the luck. The referees seem to be playing into their hands all night. And you could go on, and there's been so many games like that. But at the end of the day, it doesn't change anything. You still lost the game, and I don't want to go down that same route. I don't want to be thinking about our mentality in that game, or we haven't won there next amount of years, because we've done all that as well. And I think, you know, partly before the game, I was saying we just need to kind of have this focus of treating it as a one game and forgetting the previous records. So I think after the game, we should have the same mentality and just judge it on the 90 minutes with this group of players. And if we're honest, we were just a little bit unlucky not to get a result. I just think there's enough to build on there, take away the fear factor, and hopefully next time do them. Hopefully firstly at Goodison, and then if we can try and do something at Anfield. And that's the second option. I'm going with that one because if I go with the first option, it's all going to go downhill very quick in my head. So just let me have it.
I can't warm to that next time mentality, or next time we'll get them. You know, you should be raring and well up for it. And I mean, which the boys were, to be fair to them. I think the fact we lack so much in attacking options, and we're just not playing.
The only option we have is next time. This is the thing. You have to say next time because we can't say this time because we've lost. So that's it. If I have to try and take a positive out of it, otherwise if we just sit there and be so negative about the fact we've got nothing to play for, Liverpool have knocked us out the cup, we've won again, we haven't won there, it just gets us nowhere. And as I said, I feel like at worst they'd give us something to shout about in terms of a half decent performance, and surely they'd give us something to build on as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think this game against Tottenham maybe telling, obviously, that the season pretty much seems like it's dead anyway, but we're coming up against another good side here, away from home, at Wembley, of all places. I just feel like, obviously, we did perform fairly well at Anfield, so it's another big stage to perform on, and hopefully we can get progressively better at performing on these big stages where we so usually just fold.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, everything I've just said then would be really undone if we went and just flopped at Wembley this coming weekend at Tottenham. We have to kind of build on the performance, but I don't know, I think we can. I think we can. I think we will unlucky not to get results, and I hope we can build on it and just try and focus more on positives than negatives.
Yeah. I have a tendency to be like very positive, and that's just kind of my nature. And it has been sort of almost a fault in the past where I'm overly positive and overly optimistic. So I guess what it is, a big part of my negativity is trying to balance it out, if that makes sense. I've just been the guy who says, you know what, we've shown promise, and I think it's going to get better. To be honest with you, I do think that's the case. I do think it got better. I do. But at the same time, we've had those games many, many times in the past where we play really well, but we almost make it happen.
The nearly, man.
But we don't.
Exactly, and that's just something that, from a neutral point of view as well, that's what defines the club, really. And from a fan's point of view, as an Evertonian, I'm getting sick and tired of it. The nearly men all the time, and we, as I said before, we really need to just make something substantial. I was coming off the ground, and I was speaking to fans, and that fans were going, "It's always next year, mate." And I was like, you sound like one of them. You sound like one of the Reds, just saying, "Oh, next year's our year. We'll do it next year." But I know, as David says, that there's not much more that you can do than say, there's next year. But hopefully, bringing in the wingers has seemed to improve us drastically. So hopefully, that's the plan against Tottenham, and we continue to build on that.
So essentially, what we saw was a competitive game at Anfield, which is we haven't seen that recently, and there were good things, but at the same time we all hate losing. So that's probably the simplest way to sum all that up. All right. However, basically this match was overshadowed, to use Max's eloquent way of turning a phrase, overshadowed by an incident. Basically, there's no other way to put it but controversial incident. Mason Holgate shoves Firmino into the stands. I don't think he meant to shove him into the stands. I think he just meant to shove him, but he ended up into the stands. Firmino comes at him, said some bad words. We know that. We can see that he said bad words. And then his mouth and face is obscured by another player. I think it's John Joe Kenny on the camera. And at that point is when Mason Holgate alleges that Firmino said some sort of racial word. All right? So that's probably the gentlest way that I can put all of that. I'm hearing, the thing that annoys me the most is everybody saying, look, read the lips. He didn't say it. And I'm like, no, it's not there. It's the part where the lips are covered. That's when it supposedly happened.
Obviously, as far as it goes to comment on the situation, the FA are launching an investigation into it, and there's not much more that you can really comment on. Really, all the thing when incidents like this happen, what amazes me, it tends to bring out, especially when you're a frequent user of social media, it brings out a really weird kind of new side of football. Mason Holgate's had to delete his own Twitter account because Liverpool fans have gone snooping around his old tweets like they did with Andre Gray a few years back, and it's really weird to observe this kind of strange behaviour to try and victimise Holgate. while all this is going on.
Well, they have previous Liverpool. I remember Patrice Evra used to get booed, and he was the worst person in the world when he was the actual one that got racially abused. And Suarez, they still argue it to this day, but the FA found Suarez guilty, and that's a fact. But the thing is, and to be fair, I'm not just singling out Liverpool fans here, just fans in general. It does make you laugh, this kind of, we stand behind them no matter what mentality that the fans have with players who, if they seen them on the street, wouldn't even stop to say hello, wouldn't they? Half the time they wouldn't even stop to have a selfie with you. Yeah, I seen a picture today that someone had photoshopped Holgate calling him a dirty, cheating, lying bastard or something like that, and I thought, why would you go onto your computer, download a picture of Mason Holgate, and spend time making this picture just to then put it on social network? It's pathetic. The facts are, none of us know what's being said. As Gerry said at the start, you can't see. So these people saying, well, this Portuguese lip reader said this, or where you can see that he said this, and it's all bullshit. We don't know what's being said. Liverpool fans don't know what's being said either. Let's see what the investigation brings up. But in terms of these personal attacks on players, I just think it's disgusting.
Yeah,
I do it. Yeah, I don't particularly condone slating Firmino either. I thought his reaction was pathetic. But in terms of racial slurs, we don't know if he said anything, so he's innocent until proven guilty. So I don't think either side should be trying to point score.
Yeah, it's really important that we take this kind of thing seriously. You've got three possibilities here from what the way I see it. Number one, Firmino said a word, a slur of some sort, and so Holgate has been racially abused. So that stinks. That's awful. That's a bad scenario. Number two, Holgate made it up. Okay, which that sucks. That's bad. That's not good either. And then three, Holgate misunderstood a word that Firmino said and misinterpreted it. And that seems like that's the way where less people get hurt, if that is true. Okay? But is there any other way? I mean, and here's the question, what if Firmino didn't say it out loud? What if he mouthed it? You know what I mean? Yeah, I just don't think this is gonna I just don't think we're gonna actually I don't know. I don't think it's gonna be able to be proven. You know what I mean?
What you mean, but obviously, as David said, we literally do not know what was said at all. But observing it from the camera angles that have been available, it did seem like a kind of knee-jerk reaction from Holgate, if you know what I mean. I think he called him a filthy de puta at first, which he didn't get much of a reaction from. But then obviously, John Joe's Kenny head getting in the way, and then something said, and it seemed to kind of fire Mason Holgate up a bit. Mm-hmm. Then, as you say, Gerry, it might have been a misinterpretation, but we just don't know. And that goes Mason Holgate. He's not the most. He's not like a Joey Barton. You know what I mean? He doesn't get easily angry. So it's just gotta wait and see.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen him react like that, which makes you think something's in it. But then, just as easy, there's 50,000 people there, so he could have misheard anything. You just don't know, do you? But I just think it's shameful the way some people have acted, and it will be on both sides. I've seen more Liverpool fans, but of course there'll be Everton fans probably saying stuff back.
Apparently, the police are investigating some racist Twitter actions that happened against Holgate before he deactivated his account. Just a really ugly situation all the way around. There were rumors that the situation got resolved at halftime, and basically it got straightened out, and that Holgate was fine. But that's not true, because apparently they went over and at the end of the game and kind of reiterated their complaint. It's a really difficult situation. A lot of people are weighing in right now before they know a damn thing. And it's, how do you do that?
It brings out just a vicious circle of strange human behaviour. Really, you get them people that jump the gun on both sides. You'll get Everton fans going, "Oh, he said this, that, and the other," and then obviously you get Liverpool fans trying to defend for me, by all costs. And as you say, Gerry, people are just saying things when they haven't got a clue.
Yeah.
And it just, you need to just sit back in these instances because they are important. You do need to just take your time with them and assess them because if he is proven guilty, obviously a punishment's going to be there, and it needs to be able to deter these incidents from happening.
Yeah, I've heard some really ridiculous defenses of Firmino recently. That's what I'll say. Don't look at, what about that other thing that was worse than what he did? You know what I mean? That kind of stuff. No, I hate that kind of stuff. All right. So I hate to end the segment talking about controversy, but this one's unresolved, folks, and we had to give it some attention. But we're not drawing any conclusions. We're just not. We're just not like that. We want more facts to come out first. It's not good though. It's awful. It's an ugly side, the way Max was saying. So anything else on this, guys? Or are we ready to go?
That's cool. Yeah, let's wrap it up.
All right. So that is all for our FA Cup Derby reaction. If you're digging the videos, please subscribe. I hate to say digging the videos after we're talking about a really awful possible incident, but yeah, if you're digging the videos, subscribe, leave us a comment, leave us a like, reach out, let's connect. I have not been the best on responding to comments lately because I've been sick, but I'll get better. Okay, there. So yeah, check out Max's stuff on the Toffee Blues website. Check out David's stuff on the Toffee Blues website and The Sportsman. That is all. We have more stuff to do. Bye.